In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take much better quality photos with the Galaxy Fold 7 and the best 4K video quality you've ever seen. Let's get started. Now, the Galaxy Fold 7 offers a lot of different ways to take photos, edit them, and lots of different things. For this purpose, I'm going to be taking a look at how to take photos and videos, and we'll do another video separately on how to edit them very easily. So the first thing I always point out, on any Samsung smartphone, you can double press the power button to immediately launch into your camera. This is very quick and easy, convenient way to initially launch it and very much use it to a really nice ability. Obviously, with this big screen, it really allows you to actually use it better than a lot of other smartphones to see every detail you normally couldn't. So first thing is first, just like on the S25 Ultra, we really want to immediately go to the little settings area right here, hit this plus and minus button, and turn your exposure to -0.2. This is a really good one to go with. I usually go 0.3 sometimes, but it all depends. You can always change this on the fly, but if you do this, especially in bright areas, this will make your photo look so much better. Obviously in the studio, it's very well lit. And when I take a photo without this, it tends to be a little washed out. But when I add this ability to it, you'll notice, and first thing here, you can do a little preview button right here and actually see how your photos turn out right here. So it's just a little too bright, a little overexposed at times, whereas this one, more realistic while still being good vivid color and contrast. So it's just gonna be something that you'll notice a lot more than this one. Very bright, but again, especially on a sunny day, this will be overexposed and this white will be too bright. This tends to happen with a lot of night lights. So if you have a nighttime area where you have like a light post or a lamp, it's gonna overexpose it so much. Or in the daytime, you'll have a haze from the sun. So this will correct it so that it's much better off, and the text should be a lot more easy to read as well. All right, so for the next feature, I'm going to go over making sure that you have the bokeh background blur on. So what this is going to allow for is to always make sure you have that nice depth of field. What that means is that the background gets blurry because you have this huge 200 megapixel sensor and you want to be able to do that. And that's right here, focus enhancer on or off. So the first thing you can do is have everything in focus, which is being done right here. This is using the main sensor, and around it, the reason why it's so much brighter is because it's using the ultra wide. I don't really like this as much. Pictures don't just look as good. On this one though, it has that blur effect where everything is blurred in the background and it really makes the front stand out. This is because you're using the full 200 megapixel sensor on this here, so it allows you to do it. Now, what I mean by the sensor size is the actual size of the camera. It's not actually using the 200 megapixels, it's just the sensor size. So if that does confuse you, just wanted to clarify that you'd still usually use 12 megapixel for the most part. You can use 50 or 200 if you choose to, but those you only really want to use if you can keep very still and it's a very bright area. You never want to use it in low light or if you're quick and moving, because it will not be able to capture the detail that you want it to, because it takes time to capture a 50 megapixel shot or a 200 megapixel shot. So wanted to clarify that for you. All right, then one of the other biggest things you want to know how to do is how to use the rear camera so you never have to use this camera for a selfie. So the first thing you're gonna do is hit this little icon right here. What this does is it provides a preview for your cover screen. So as I flip this around, you're gonna see it actually provides this one have a preview for it, but there's a hidden feature and that's right here. You can actually unlock it so that this side does not matter, meaning you can press your hand on it and hold it and it will not interfere with the camera quality. Also right here, you have all your full functionality. You can take a photo, you can do video, all that kind of stuff right here on the go very easily. If you want to take a selfie from here too, you don't have to worry about your button or where to press it, because you can just go like this and that will allow you to take it. Very simple, very easily, but this is going to be the main sensor, so you're going to have a much higher quality than you ever could with this little selfie on this side. So that is how you want to do all of your vlogging, your photo taking of selfies on that way. Just basically hitting the cover on and then unlocking And now you have the best vlogging tool you can get anywhere. All right, next up, we want to let you guys know about the zoom. So you do have a 2x, 3x, and 0.6. This you can just move between. You can also slide if you want between them and go that way as well. So very simple and very easy to go and zoom. If you hit those little 4 dots again though, we can do a couple of other things. And the main thing I want you to know is motion photos. I would just always have that on, especially good for kids and pets. So if you ever have something that moves quickly, like that, you can go and click your motion photo to see a preview of it. Just hitting that play button, you can see a preview like, hey, it was there for a second. So I can hit this little icon right there with the pencil, then play it back and actually choose the exact frame that it was in focus, and then I have a new picture. Simple, easy, save that way. And now this is my photo, which actually, as you can see, it was a lot more in focus than you might have even thought. So really nice and clean, just to be able to, even though it was only for a split second, it took a much better quality photo. So that is motion photo. Finally, you have what I call the catfish area, which if you turn it on, you can do a lot of things here. You can up the smoothness, so it gets rid of wrinkles, acne, blemishes, stubble for men. You have right here, which is tone. It can change a little bit of the tone that you have on there in terms of your skin. Right here, jawline. It can thin out your jawline, lose about 5 pounds right away. And then eyes wide open, as I call it, which is just basically the ability to make your eyes appear bigger, whether that be too animated, or if you just have a hard time opening your eyes really wide, this, after a long night especially, this can help you out. Honestly, for these features, I would say that most people use them more in the selfie taking feature, but you have them on your regular photo as well. All right, now we're going to go into settings right here. And in settings, we have a couple things that I do like to make sure that are on. So all of these 3, keep them on, it's perfectly fine. Intelligence optimization, I do like the way that Samsung autocorrects, but if you ever don't or feel that it's too what you may call flat, you can minimize that down, no problem. If you swipe the shutter button by swiping down, it will take a burst shot. You can also instead make it be a GIF. It just depends on you if you want that. So if you swipe your shutter button to the side, it will take a bunch of photos, just took 15 of them. Also on this point, the shutter button can do 2 more things, which the first one is come out. So if you ever want to do it left-handed and be able to tap it, bam, you can do it that easily. So you don't have to reach over and try to press it that way. The other thing you can do is immediately start shooting video. Just by holding this down, it immediately jumps into video mode. And then you can swipe to your left to leave it in video mode. From here, you can zoom in, do all the stuff you normally would, take in a photo, pause the video, all of that kind of stuff. So it goes full video mode just by holding the shutter button down. And now back into the settings. Have a couple of things. One thing I always recommend is make sure this is off. This will make it so that when you take selfies, you can read text on them. So if you're wearing a shirt like I am that says tech guy, it will actually come out saying tech guy and not all backwards. Then we have a couple other things right here. So auto frames per second, just make sure that's on. Video stabilization, keep the way it is. All right, then in advanced video options, there's a couple of things I want to go over, namely HDR. Now, Samsung typically converts this for you to SDR if it needs to, but we'll go over that more in the editing video. But HDR is going to be better overall color, all that kind of stuff. But you will notice in certain like editing apps, if you don't convert it first, it might not look as good because it will look flat. What I mean by that is it will look very dull in color. So if the app you're editing on for video doesn't take this very well, then just turn it off. But if you do know what you're doing, you can leave it on. And if you just like post it directly to say Instagram or TikTok as is, you'll be fine. But if you post it somewhere else while editing it, it might have some issues. So just letting you know that there is a way that Samsung allows you to fix that in the phone itself in editing, but we'll go over that in the editing video. Just wanted to spend some time with that because it is very important to know what to do when it happens. Okay, now we move on to tracking autofocus, which this one is very important, guys, to go over because there's a benefit and a con to it. All right, so for me, tracking autofocus is really, really good when you are taking photos of anything that moves fast. So cars driving by, kids, pets, all that kind of stuff, you tap it and it's gonna stay focused on that area, on the area you tapped. Very good for those purposes. So if you take a snap it with a kid, it will keep track of the kid as they're running around, and as you move towards them, it will keep them in focus for the most part. However, if you turn this off, what it does allow for is the ability to move your EV quickly up and down. I really like that feature. So for me, I do have it set to -0.2 by default, so kind of is better now than it was before. But if you're ever in an area where you need to quickly change how bright or dark something is, I would have it with auto tracking off. If you take pictures of kids and pets, leave it on. But that is my 2 cents for you to when to use it and how to use it. Swipe up and down, definitely keep to switching cameras. Samsung added quick controls, but I just hate that feature. Definitely just keep it at adding camera so you can just quickly switch to selfie or regular. It's just so perfect that way. Yes, you can tap the button, but this is just so intuitive that I don't like that Samsung added that feature. It's not as good. Shooting mode. Shooting modes are going to be the ability to say for voice specifically, capture, smile, cheese, or shoot, or record video. To do that, this is really good, especially for those who miss S Pen functionality on the Fold. You can say this and it really will take the place of your clicker on an S Pen from an older phone. So really happy that they still have that. Settings to keep, I would recommend just making sure that the selfie angle stays always the same way it was before, and everything else is kind of like whatever you want it to be. I do like portrait zoom and exposure to also be highlighted, but yeah, these are my ones to keep once I set them. And then we have camera assistant. Now, if you don't have that selection available to you, you just have to go to the Galaxy Store right here, type in search, go camera assistant, and this is the camera assistant that is going to be available for you from Good Luck Labs. This is Samsung's kind of beta feature to show all their cool new features that are coming up, as well as the Galaxy Enhance X from Samsung, which is the editing version that, again, you get advanced preview to. Under Camera Assistant, just kind of look over and copy as I have it. Auto HDR, auto lens switching, distortion correction, quick tap shutter, I would keep that off, and prioritize focus over speed, keep that on, and everything else, you're good to go. No problem or issues with how this is set up. All right, now we're gonna get to video quality, and the main thing to know about video is you wanna do a couple of things here. All right, so first thing is first, we do want to tap right here, go 4K, 60 frames per second. That is the best quality that this phone does shoot in. It will be a smooth frame rate, it'll be great looking, and it will look amazing when you use it. HDR10 Plus, again, you can turn that off or on depending on how you feel. If you edit on the phone with a third-party software, I would recommend keeping it off. If you just post video to social media, then you can have it on and the colors and vibrancy will definitely be there. Next thing we're gonna do is do the same thing we did before, which is turn that exposure to -0.2, and that will make it look better with the HDR Plus. Oh, that's just gonna give you that beautiful contrast that you really will love to see in your videos. Next thing to keep in mind is that just like from before, you do have the ability to switch it over and preview so someone can see what you're recording of them and they can frame perfectly, they can see themselves, really love it. But you can also switch to the front, just like we did before with photo, you can do with video as well. Then we do have steady shot right here. Note this does drop your resolution down to QHD, so 1440p instead of 4K, and it's only really good in bright areas. You would not use this very well in the dark, but you can definitely see the difference. So steady shot off, kind of moves all over the place. Steady shot on, very much so more in frame and stable. Now we're gonna go to a couple more modes, and just by clicking more, you can actually bring these down by clicking edit and then moving any down that you wish to have on there. I like to keep it fairly light, but you can do that if you wish to. I really would recommend food. If you take food shots, that is the best looking food one you can get. The food will look better than any other smartphone, I promise you. Dual record and also portrait and slow-mo are my other options. So definitely dual record is gonna be good if you are a vlogger or like to vlog, because it can take you on both sides. So you can move this around. Now, the one thing I will say is that you can only go 4K 30 or 1080p 30. So that is something that I wish Samsung would change, but for right now, you can only do 30 frames per second. You can change the EV on both of them now, which I really do appreciate. So I can just go, boom, bam, negative 0.2 on both. Love that. And then you also have the ability to change the preview look like. So you can do a completely split screen, so have both full size. You can have it be picture-in-picture view, and again, move it around where you want. You can also select the lenses by pushing right there and either choosing front, ultra wide, rear, whichever ones you want to be the corner one and which one you want to be the big one. You can very easily do that. So now I have the ultra wide and my selfie taking one, but I can do the ultra wide and telephoto if I wanted to and have it that way. Why do you want to do that? Well, it can just be fun, but it's something you can kind of do to see exactly how you want to set it up. All right, for portrait, I just want to make sure you know the intensity level of the blur. It's by default on 5. You want to do it to 3. This will give a more natural blur effect. So always just tone it down a little bit. And then you can kind of play with this, all the other styles of blur. Feel free to have fun there. And then on slow motion, you want to do UHD at 120 because 1080p at 240 does not look as good. So I would just keep it 4K 120 and you will definitely like the results. All right, then the last part as we wrap up is going to be the selfie taking. Again, I don't really recommend using this camera for taking photos. It's more for video chatting and things like that. But I would just recommend flipping it around and using the rear camera to take any kind of selfies you want. That's going to give you the best overall quality. And for here, the main thing you just want to know is go ultra wide, just so it gets everything in your photo. And of course you can change the EV exposure, just that simple. And you can change the color tone from natural or warm, depending on your skin tone and what you prefer. All right, and then the last thing I want to let you know, I don't see it as useful as on the Flip for this phone, but you do have flex mode for here. So what that means is you can take a photo and you can see the preview for it right away this way. So if you do want to leave it like this, you can just kind of see it and take it, but you kind of lose the preview functionality on here because although you can press preview, it's face down. So it doesn't make as much sense for me. It does have it just to prop it up. And so you can hopefully take a good shot that way, but that is flex mode. But all right, guys, that is how to take better photos and videos on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Hopefully you did like this video. What tip did you find most helpful? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, follow me on social media at YouTube Tech Guy. And check out some more great tech videos on your screen right now.